Got the car ready to go. Took the negative off, and we're finding a positive that we've ran already. Probably gonna have to redo these. Split. Runs down here, up, across the engine bay, and down to my line lock and wideband O2 right here, and goes into the car. I'll take the box over here. Okay. Got here. Thank you very much. So, Carb Cheater. Some of this I'm going to have to check over. But, there we go. I hope I can show you this side. So I can show you. Yep, there you go. Thank you very much. And that's how we do it. We're gonna have to open this up. I can't show you a couple of these sides because it's got some information on it. But in this Carb Cheater, see this pretty cool logo. We've got a electrical device that I'm talking about. That's why I needed the power and the electrical off so we can work on it. Let me put this box down real quick. If you can't see the label. Thank you, UPS. So, I ran that red wire from the line lock. You can see all this mess. This wire right here. You can see it's an off-colored red. That's our wire from the line lock right there. You can see it. We'll be using that. Right now, it currently has a 5 amp fuse in it. So I'm going to check, make sure that's a 16 gauge wire, and we'll put a larger fuse on that, and or we will just use it for a pull wire. So with the eyelets at the battery, excuse the car, at the eyelets at the battery, they look a little bad, so we'll redo the eyelets and we'll pull a thicker wire through here. And the reason why you see this mess is the hazard switch right here. I have my hazard switch wired in the back over here. Unfortunately, with all the motor work that we've been doing, it excuse me, come on neighbor, there we go. So with the motor work and the lovely electrical work I like to do, you know, the hazard switch worked, and then I think I rewired it and it doesn't work anymore. So I ordered some relays and fuses for that. That came in yesterday from Amazon, and luckily I was looking at it, and we got the Carb Cheater in today, and I got a lovely video of the UPS lady delivering our Carb Cheater. So we're going to be installing this, and I'll cut it in, but I do have a lot more electrical work to go, and this is just for the turn signal. So whenever you do your turn signal, you have to have relays and the flasher. This is a flasher, and essentially whenever you put power through it, it intermittently flashes it. You put power through this, it blinks and turns off and goes through here. And it won't get hot unless you complete the circuit, right? So whenever you complete the circuit, that's when it starts clicking and flashing. The rest is handled with relays. And I've decided, you know, whenever I start wiring this in, I have these 5-pin relays that I use. So this is my turn signal relay pigtail, and this is my Innovate wideband O2 pigtail right here. But you can see these are fairly fragile wires, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I finished the car and got the car running, and you know, you lose your mind a little bit going through with this stuff, and I needed some help just getting past a plateau. And when they installed it, the wideband O2, it just never worked. So had to completely rewire it anyway. So, you know, I'm never going to go back to that shop ever again, unfortunately for them. So I have the wiring run and all that stuff. So there are some added extra systems in here. And we will probably need to do a secondary, like a power bus. And you can also see our negative post right here starting to get used up a bit. You can add an extra screw there. So with all our cut zip ties right here, I'm going to be doing my cleanup, and we will be wiring in a carb cheater. Now I'm able to wire in the carb cheater fairly easy. All this is just half a day of cleanup, really, and just taking care of these tiny little 5-volt wires. So let's get that carb cheater opened up. I'm gonna cover up my information on that box, and we can actually look at what's inside of it. So I've cleaned up the wiring a little bit for you guys to be able to see a little bit better what I'm talking about. I have my hazard switch and my secondary O2 in here getting rewired. Nice over cleaner. This is the carb cheater box, the beta testing unit, and I'm gonna store it right here in the on the trans tunnel underneath the dash, so it's out of the way and not inside the actual engine bay. So what I'm gonna do is, you can see there's a connector right here and a connector right there, and these are extension cords. They're gonna come out, and they come to right here using this connector right here. So if you see, it's got a short 4 that connects to that one, and a short 3 right here. And so, or is it 3? Yes, it's 3. And then there's a longer one, and this is actually your O2 sensor. So I'm going to feed this one through the firewall, and this one will be out of the cabin, and I'll actually have these wires feed through with this one, and they'll go into the engine bay as well. And so I'll be running that, and I'll do another video with that, and hopefully you can see a little bit better without this in the way. Hey buddy, you need the keys?
Yeah.
Keys. So I was with my buddy here, and I was like, you know, running my wires for the carb cheater, and I've got my 2 relays, and I unplugged my O2 sensor, and it's the same connector. So what I'm hoping is it'll just read this this sensor, and we'll be good to go, and I don't have to run anything else through the firewall that's big. As you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3 already, and I'd have to run another one if I keep that one and also another one. So we'll do that a later date. So I'm making this easier on myself. So you come back over here, 2 relay wires, not going to wear that up today. I got my 3 big connectors right there, and I've got power, 2-step. Okay, yeah, we can't play with that one. Power, 2-step, coil, ground. You can play with a screwdriver, yeah. And I was about to run it. I had already watched the videos on YouTube, and actually 2-step is a switch, and I'm like, oh, I don't have to run that through the firewall. Awesome, great. So it really is just, because I was looking at it, I was like, I got 5 wires. They said only 4 wires. Okay, you can't, whatever. But thinking about it, I was going to order something. I was going to order a coil for this, because I was talking about this. I've got my line lock right here. Yep, that one too. Can't play with that one either. I got my line lock right here. And also, I guess I could have my 2-step as well. So, I'm going to be doing the whole thing as well, because it's just a switch. They make it super easy for your two-step. It's literally this is a power wire, and it goes to your switch and then to ground. Yeah, I'm gonna be in a world of trouble once he gets strong enough to take that e-brake out. You can yank on that. Go backwards, not sideways. So, you don't have to run this through the firewall. Do not run it through the firewall, in fact. Only run your power, 2 coils, and your grounds, and your sensor wires. I'd keep your relays inside the car as well. And then also your O2. So, these 4 are going to go through the firewall, and I'm going to be wiring up soon. Almost.
Oh, no.
Careful your fingers. So, we've got our wires pushed through, and then I pulled this like that inside the sheath. And that actually makes it really, well, we know what you want. Careful. No.
Yeah.
You do not want that on video. Or touching the car. And you know that. Where do those go? Those go on bolts. On bolts. Only. Right? Only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
We have wiring and electrical to do. It's so much fun. Right? Fun. So, really all I had to do was do this. Look at that. Boom. Or through the firewall. I do have to go through this wire too, though. So, we're going to be running power and ground right there along this strip. And coils are going to be ran to that coil right there. So we might just run it down that way and up right there. So let me go grab my screwdriver from being destroyed. Thank you. So I'm installing my Carb Cheater. I've got some wires here, and they come from the Firewall, and I've got the colors, see the colors, and also a couple black wires. A couple black wires come around to right here. This one and this one, and they're gonna go connect like this, and it's gonna be hidden very well. I'll show you in a second. But this one shoots up right here, across, and we're gonna come out right here. Now I have my negative disconnected from my battery while we're working. So there is another one right here. So what we're gonna do is take the Carb Cheater black wire, and we're gonna run it inside this boot. And that will get us our negative for the actual unit itself. And look at that. Plenty of extra cabling. And this is our positive. So I'm gonna be running it. We're gonna have to add in an extra fuse. We could just lay down right here or something. So what I'm thinking is laying it right here, and this adding on a circle. So that'll be good right there. That's our positive and ground made up. Our last 2 wires are these 2, and this is our positive and negative for our coil, which is right there. Fortunately, we're not long enough. So what we're gonna do, come down here, shoot right here, and we're gonna have connectors, and we're gonna come up and connect right there. luckily I have different colored wires. I did buy a green roll, so I use my green roll for that, and I have a yellow wire as well, and we'll be good to go. These are the connectors that come with the car, and the fuses. You get a 7.5 and a 2. It's very thin. Definitely kind of have to watch out for those. So, I'm getting very close, and I'll show you what it looks like with the now that I have my wiring done. So this is gonna be like this. I'm gonna put a sheath on that. It's gonna come in, just tuck up, and they're gonna connect right up in here. You hear the click. So whenever I'm done testing, I'm gonna have 2 screws, one right here, with riv nuts. They give you these screws, and you know, this old metal, and we just round out the Phillips. So riv nuts for the win. I think this is look really good right here. You can see really tucked in. You almost don't notice it, right? So what's gonna happen is a hose is gonna go right here to the manifold, and then there's a reference for the map, and that will come from one of these as well. I do have connectors right there, but those are used up, so I'm probably going to use one of these two right here or something like that. I'm hoping it doesn't have a feedback loop effect, but we'll be good to go. Oh, also with the unit itself, this is how I have it done. I'm going to have those connectors. They're going to connect to these two right here. This is already done. And this is my line lock button. And these 2 orange ones are extra relay activators. And we can just test those out, and they'll be good to go. And then this is it. So, you know, positive, negative, 2 coils that need to be extended out, and our connectors. Okay, I'm out here in my pajamas, and I cleaned up the wiring a little bit. I know it looks like a mess, but nothing is exposed anymore. And down here, nothing is exposed as well. We're not going to be tripping on any wires. I've got my buddy with his monster shoes. You want to get inside?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Comfortable? You ready?
No.
Oh yeah. You want to take your shoes off? Let's see if this thing fires off. I can show you guys. Are you taking your shoes off, bud?
Yeah.
I can show you guys our setup before we start the car. He's in the car with me. So, I've got the car right here, and actually, looking at this, I need to tighten this more. So I'll tighten that, and I've got this connected to this PCV, but it goes in, and this is my reference right here. So we'll do that, and let's see how it does. You ready, little guy?